Welcome to another episode of the Independent Creator Podcast. I'm your humble host, Josh, and on tonight we will be talking about the benefits of communities for your particular audience, and especially for content creators, and the humble beginnings of a community for content creators with like forums, and it has moved into Slack, TeamSpeak, then Discord, now Guilded, Matrix, Revolt. Wherever we're going to be all talking about that tonight on this episode of the Independent Creator Podcast. So strap in, folks. Let's jump right into it, shall we? Now, we all remember, if you've been around, if you've been alive this long, pretty much online communities started with BBS. This is like precursor. This is early days of the internet. I'm going to skip all that because most of you will probably are not in the age range. I really didn't have any experience with that as well. But what I did have a lot of experience with was forums. And what forums are a website that collects your members' thoughts, their postings, their day-to-day whatevers, and it pretty much talks about whatever the discussion of that forum particularly might be. It could be a general forum that a lot of topics and discussions happen about all different sorts of topics, or it could be a more specialized where you talk about one particular niche or a topic. Let's say podcasting. There's a few podcasting forums out there that are probably still around. Forums haven't really have lost a lot of their audience per se with the influx of Facebook and quick hits of social media, networking, stuff like that. And it's kind of like a shame to see that forums have not really claimed or reclaimed what they were before, because one, they are a great resource in getting things together, easily searchable online, that you can post up on Bing or Google or DuckDuckGo or anywhere. And if you want to look for information on one particular subject or something else, most of the times you might find that in a forum. Unfortunately, that has been taken over by Reddit. A lot of the stuff, information, knowledge base of or knowledge for everything that we deal with has kind of been swallowed up by Reddit as like a centralized place. Now, that's not a bad thing per se. It's also could be perceived as a blessing or a curse, really. Especially when we think about what happened with the recent Reddit apocalypse, with it killing off third-party API access and the mod revolt and then purging of mods within many subreddits. And Reddit is not really the place that it once was. It's kind of the information that is being coalesced and presented as facts, and as this, here you go, here's your knowledge, is not really the best quality, because the people who took care of the subreddits were unpaid volunteers, and they had the passion and the know-how. I want to say, I'm speaking as plain as possible. I'm not going to go into any like subreddit politics or what is or isn't what should be happening there, but great majority of the unpaid moderators, they were there to help bring their subreddit to life, to keep it, within that niche or whatever topic or whatever whatever niche that they were talking about there. And unfortunately, with recent happenings at Reddit, it's just, like I said, it just hasn't been the same since. Now, forums, I'm not going to say that forums were any better, because many of the forums were put together or run by one, two, or maybe a small group of people that had a passion and the know-how to start up an online community with using forums. Now, forums come in different shapes and sizes. There is the free one that is still out there. is PHBB. It's still kicking around. There's also the other one. It's MyBB. It's those two are like the free ones, but unfortunately, their development has slowed quite a lot. There isn't really, because the reason why is because it really isn't any um what's the word, excitement for forums anymore. And so the free ones were, again, volunteers of people who are running these projects, and they don't do this as a paid gig. They do this on their free time, and they have a life to live as well. Now there are paid options that are available for if you are a content creator who wants to set up your own forum. Well, there's two different software that I can show you here. One is it's called Zen 4.0. Now, back in the day, we had a V Bulletin had their pretty much a monopoly. It wasn't really a monopoly, but it was kind of like the go-to standard for for bulletin boards and forums. And two people who used to work at V Bulletin decided, you know what, the way the company is going, we can do something better, and we can shape something that we can do. So they decided to create Zen 4.0. Now, I've used Zen 4.0 pretty much from the very beginning, and with many different forums and different sites that I've worked on and ran, and then closed up and started new. And it's just going through the whole process of their complete packaging has been getting better and better with it with each iteration. Now, it's not to say that a paid service is any better than a free service. In fact, it could be a blessing, because not only do you have a paid service that you know you're paying money to, that your customer service aspect is much better because you have more people that are incentivized in making sure the paid product is up to date, is being developed like constantly, it's completely up to date and constantly working on new things. And that's the great thing about using a paid service. Now, when it started, of course, we're talking about many, many, many years ago. It was a lot cheaper than what it is now. I think it's what let's take a quick look into. Let me go to let's see, pricing. So right now, they also offer a cloud, but if we do self-hosted, which means you take the software, you have your own hardware for your hosting, like server, and you can put the software on it, and you're done. It's all you gotta do is pay for it. So it's $160. Now it wasn't that way before. This is like $160, and it is you have to pay per year if you want continuing support. Now, that means if after your year is done, then that does not mean that you can't use the software anymore. You can. It's just that you won't be able to have access to the updates, security, infrastructure, backbone, whatever you want to call it, kind of updates. So that's one part of you're paying for a software service. Think of it as like a one of these live service type games. You want to get the fancy skins. You want to keep it up to date. Have your battle pass going. I know it's very poor comparison, but think of it as that way, as that this is a software as a service type of thing. Now, like I said, or you had on here before, that they do offer cloud based hosting, where they take care of the hosting, the server costs, or I should say the server maintenance and everything else. Plus, you have access to the actual software, but it's a little bit more per month. Like the starter here is $60, or if you want to pay annually, $648 annually, it's only $54 a month for the starter plan. What that means is that you get unlimited members and staff, your choice of data centers, add-ons, API, backups, daily. You get a 40,000 monthly page views. Oh, sorry, 400,000 monthly page views, lifetime support, and 50 gigs of data storage. And of course, the complete Zen 4.0 suite. You can also bump it up if you have like a standard, which you get higher numbers of monthly page views. You get a million or 4 million with the business plan. But of course, the higher tiers you go, the higher cost that you have to pay. Now, this is good for someone who looks at it and say, oh, well, I can pay the server cost maybe through Hetzner, and then it was like $7 to $12 a month. Then I have to also make sure I have the domain, which is a yearly fee, which is really it's a non-starter. It's like what, $16 a year. So I usually don't put that into the equation when I look at how much a particular project would cost every month or every year. But with this is that you have them take care of the server. You don't have to worry about any kind of upgrades. You don't have to worry about backups because they do it a backup daily. You don't have to worry about keeping your server secure. They do it. So it's kind of like, you have to weigh the pros and cons for each side of things and how you're going to go from there. Now, there is another company that is within the forum business. This is Envision Powerboard. They started with a free version pretty much same time when in the early days of eBulletin, MyBB, and PHBB, that they started with a paid version. I mean, it started with a free version, sorry. Then they decided, okay, well, we can make some money, make our product a little bit better. So they started going through making some iterations and different versions and coming up with what we see here is their latest Envision community that you have your forums. They have a suite of different modules that you can add into your particular site that you want. Let's see, if we go to pricing. Yeah, let's just go to pricing. All right, I'll go to monthly. So, and this is also, they also provide a cloud-based not self-hosted, but a hosted service that you can pay for if you like. And they have a lot more tiers to look over. Like they have their beginner tier, which is at $54 a month, which is cheaper than a starter pack over on Zen 4.0. But what you only get 100 gigs of storage. You get forum discussions, you get events calendar, unlimited admin seats, so you can have as many people as admins as you want. You get achievements, you get a possibility if you want to add in a custom domain instead of using envisioncommunity.com / whatever your site's name is. You can be site.com, whatever. So it gives, you don't get as much as you would on Zen 4.0 because you get a complete suite, which is comprises of the core software and all first party add-ons, including the media gallery, resource manager, and enhanced search. So I think just because it's cheaper, but you can also think how much you're getting on Envision Powerboard, depending on what you get with Zen 4.0. Now, it's just all opinion based and everything else is completely how you want to look at it. But forums, I think, are a really great foundation for a community, really. I think so. Because, yeah, you can have your Discord server or Guilded or Matrix server, or you can have a Facebook group. But the problem is that you don't own a community. You're subletting in somebody else's domain, pretty much. So say your Discord server, you're subloading your community within Discord itself. Well, who's to say that Discord, for some odd reason, decides, okay, we're changing the rules, and by our new rules, your server no longer follows our rules, and you're done. And all of your history, all of your contacts within your particular community are done. They're gone. You have no control over your actual domain of your community. With a forum, you really do have control. You have access to your membership, your members. You can set up a newsletter by collecting their email address, which is also, it's still very, very important even to this day as we go into 2024. Yes, we're almost there. So we got like September, October, November, December. We got like 4.5 months. So we got 4 months before we go into 2024. So it's kind of like you have to focus on what is better for your community. Now, I'm not saying that forums that everyone should go ahead and start signing up and getting stuff going on a forum. No, it's just depending on how you want your community to run. Is it something that you're going to be comfortable with down the line, or is it something that is just it's a hobby? I'll look at it later on, or is it actually something that you want to look for as a business? So forums help shape an audience really well, because the fact is that you own your community. I shouldn't say you own your members, but your membership is there. It's yours. It's not somebody else's that you're just borrowing them to be in your particular room inside a conference center. And you can collect data from your members and for good to set out newsletters and other kinds of things that you can post out for them. And it's also really great for audience retention or audience engagement, because if you can sit there on your stream or your videos and say, hey, join our community at suchandsuch.com. Join our community. We're growing. And when your audience members travel or go to your website and or your forums and they say, oh, this is pretty cool. Another nice thing about forums is that it's searchable. SEO is still very important. Yes, it's not as important as it was before, but it is very important in the fact that, if someone searches up widget A, I need help on widget A. Well, if your forum or your site is dedicated to that particular whatever, more chances of your site being seen via search than it was if your community is locked up behind Gilded or let's say Discord or even Matrix. It's just the access of that information and knowledge that is locked up within those particular services or platforms is not as seeable or searchable as it is on a website or a forum that has unfiltered access, unless you have certain sections that are locked up behind a pay gate. But hey, that's up to you. But let's move into looking at different side of things with a Discord server. Now, let's go ahead, take a look at our Discord server at the Indie Creator Hub. This is our server that is part of Discord. Again, like I said, this is not a bad thing. Discord is a great service. It's been around for many years. What, 8, 10 years, I want to say? It's been longer than 10 years. Anyways, it's been around for quite some time, and it was kind of born from the need of gamers and other people that were getting tired of the hassle of having to deal with a TeamSpeak server or going through Skype, because those were the only like voice kind of platforms that we had at the time. There was the instant messenger like AOL Instant Messenger. Yes, that was still around at the time, or MSN Messenger, or a couple others, Yahoo Messenger. Those were great for one-on-ones, but grouping, it wasn't really designed in that way. It was, like I said, it was more for the one-on-one type of scenario. So Discord came about from that need of people looking for something that not only provided voice chat, but also a great place to set up shop for your community with channels, chat channels, or text-based channels. It was very simple at the beginning, where it was very rudimentary, but it worked. And a lot of people, yes, even then, uh, complained that, oh, how dare you leave our TeamSpeak server? We spent so much money running this, and you just want to leave it to some place that's for free? Oh. But eventually, a lot more people came around and said, oh, okay, this is better. This is pretty good. And you can start your own Discord server completely for free. You don't need to pay for Discord Nitro. You don't need to pay the boost so you can get extra features. Well, you do if you want extra features, but you don't have to starting out. Get your community started up and running and just, go from there. And I always say it's just like with forums and stuff, start with not as many sections to over indate or complicate matters when people coming into your server or your forum. Let your members decide what to expand on from your basic 4 or 5, maybe 6 different chat channels or topics or forum channels that you want. But here with Discord, especially nowadays, they've actually been doing a lot of improvements because of competition from Guilded. Yes, we'll talk about Guilded in just a moment here. But with Discord has started because they saw that, oh, what a great feature. Let's have forums where we can make topics of discussion not easily be missed because it all of a sudden it just scrolls too far back and someone comes in and say, hey, what's you guys talking about? Oh, you missed it. Go ahead, scroll 6 hours ahead and then scroll. Now, that's not a good user experience. I'm sorry. Usually when I go into a Discord server, I just scroll maybe once or twice to see what within the past maybe hour and a half or 2 hours, if that, or let's just say 1 or 2 scrolls and that's it. I'm not going to continue on any further because whatever's gone in the past is the past. It's very dynamic, I should say, especially with a very popular or high membership laden server on Discord. Sometimes those chats can get pretty involved. That you'll have a good hour turns into like a long segment of scrolling that you have to go through. But I don't do that. And if you do that, that's okay because that's on you. You do you, boo. But they also added a couple different things. Like they added the Discord Nitro to, hey, pay for Discord Nitro. You can have animated emotes, and you can also have these other features. It's just, it's the next level tier they can add. But it's a great thing because Discord is great in a sense that almost everybody knows Discord. The general public mindshare is there for Discord. And when people are, let's say for your live streamers, and people come into your live stream and say, hey, do you have a Discord server? It's like, yes, I do. Type in !Discord or click on the link below, whatever. So everyone has that knowledge that what Discord is. You don't need to actually go through and explain what Discord is because you pretty much know what it is already. It's there. But there are other options that are very similar to Discord, and we'll touch on that in a bit. But I want to talk to you. One other thing about Discord is that the information and the knowledge that you place inside your Discord server, I mentioned this prior, is that it's locked within Discord. There is no SEO. There is no way for someone to search for, hey, an independent or any creator hub, comma Twitch or comma Owncast. It won't show up if it's something that if I only just use Discord. Now I do use a website and other methods, but if I only just use Discord, that information is locked within your server. And there is no way for anyone that is on the wider internet to see what that information is unless they find your server and join it. That's the major problem with a chat app like this or a platform like this, is that the information is locked behind a wall. It's a walled silo, pretty much. Just think of it as that way, as a walled silo. Now, that's not inherently a bad thing, but it's not good either. Because, like I said, it's information that you want to share with everybody. No one outside of your server is ever going to see that. That's the unfortunate side effect of a Discord server. So that's what you also got to think about, is if you go this route, just make sure that you try to, um, again, this is however you want to set up your particular community, but I'm talking in broad terms here, is that how do you want to set up your information knowledge base? Is it going to be just locked into your server, or do you want to like share it out to the wider community outside of your server? So you'll have to think about, okay, put it on Reddit, Mastodon, Threads, Blue Sky, whatever, or your own website. So that's the thing that you really have to think about when you go through, and you got to think about long term as well, because if you got a lot of people that are coming into your Discord server, it's really hard to say, hey, we're moving from Discord to our own forums. And it's kind of like, well, it's like herding cats, but the cats don't want to come with you because you smell. I don't know. I was trying to think of something there. But, anyways, it's kind of hard because those people they pretty much are part of the Discord wider community. They're not really going to go somewhere else unless they are kind of forced to, or you see or you tell them that there are more and more benefits that are better for them, either on a forum or someplace else. So that's what you got to think about in the long term of things when you start up your Discord server. It's great, don't get me wrong, but there are many cons as well as the pluses. Now, let's actually talk about Guilded here as well, because Guilded is very similar to Discord, but it's a little bit different. It's different in a certain way where it has the same look and feel with Discord, but the main point of things is that a lot of what you get that were essentially pay gated or behind a paywall on Discord, you get for free on Guilded. The main point is animated emotes are completely free. You don't need to pay Guilded $10 a month to get animated emotes and to use animated emotes in different servers. You don't need to do that. You also have high quality voice chat rooms and all manner of different things that are completely free that Guilded has started with first. Like I said before in our the Discord segment, there is that they started with the actual forums. They have was it 8 features or 8 channel types that you can use. They have, your regular chat channel. They also have a streaming channel. Discord has that too, with sharing your screen or the stages feature on Discord. It's different. I'm not going to say it's different, but it's the same but different. You're on Guilded. You have a voice channel with the major thing that you can break off into different rooms from one channel. So that's a nice thing. I have a couple other videos that help explain this a little bit more. This is just like a general guide, go through and talk about what Guilded is as a robust alternative to Discord. You also have a calendar. Now, in Discord, you would have to set up a third-party bot to get your calendar into it. Here, it's built right in. So you also have a scheduling, which same thing. You don't need third-party bots for these two items. You also got media. And here is the thing, that Discord has taken this, but they have basically taken their forum infrastructure and set it up as a media share. It's the same thing as a forum, but yeah, it's not the same. But it's what it is. And it's not for everybody just yet. It's in testing. You also got a documents channel, where if you are like a role player group or a community, you can set up your your settings documents, or your inspiration documents, or whatever kind of documents are within this channel that are easily accessed within the Gilded community that you've built. Another thing is the listing. So you got a to-do list you can go through, or you got some people that you want to make sure, like if you're running a tournament and you want to have a list like, okay, we got to do this before we have to do this. Well, you can do that here. You also got forums. Gilded was the first one when they came out. They had forums. Discord did not have this. And it's only now, since they see that there is a competition with Gilded between Discord and Gilded. Oh, we got to actually we got to put some stuff that is very similar to what our competition is doing. And of course, you got your announcements channel. So there are a lot of things that, in my opinion, are better than Discord. And the thing is that you can basically create a Gilded community server that fosters, a nice group of people come together to enjoy the better voice chat, the streaming, the scheduling, the calendar, all the different stuff, and the fact that your member list is not filled up with a bunch of third-party bots that are supplying you for different things that are missing within Discord's core feature set. Gilded has that. So Gilded has that in its core feature set. And it just looks better, in my opinion. Because also, if you have a lot of channels that it's just becoming completely crazy to have to scroll down a list of channels, you can set different groups here. Let's say if you're a game streamer and you have a whole bunch of channels and you have like a section that is for let's say Fallout 76, and there's another section for Starfield, and there's another section for Minecraft, and another section for Fortnite. Well, you can take those 4 sections and create groups that have the same capability as what your main section has. So you can put forums in those groups. You can put a calendar, a scheduler, a stage, voice chat in those particular groups. And the nice thing is that you can set them up in such a way is that if people are not interested in the Minecraft stuff, well, you can have it that they can set themselves up within that own role. So, oh, I'm only interested in Starfield or Fallout 76. I only want to see those groups. No problem. Just set yourself with that role and you're it. You don't need to see the other 2 groups at all. You don't even need to know that they're there. Even unless you look at the roles, it's like, oh, what's this Minecraft click? Oh, that's what that is. So there's a lot of things that are capable within Gilded. And I think it's just the main problem is trying to get people away from Discord into Gilded. Because like I said before, it's the mind share of the general public is locked into Discord. And a lot of people do not want to move away. They have this mindset. It's like, I'm Discord for life. That's it. I'll be here until they turn off the servers. Nothing else is possible. But that's not real life. Things change. Services stop. And you just got to make sure you have the understanding of what is out there as well. Just don't put all, like, again, I'm going to use a trope and say, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Try and look out for other alternatives to what you're looking at. You don't have to use it all the time. Just know that it's there and what it's capable of. That's it. That's all I really have to say about that is just give it a chance. A lot of people won't even give that. They say, oh, it's a Discord ripoff. Like, come on. Come up with something more original than that, because I've heard that for ad nauseum for years since I've been involved with Gilded. So, oh, this is just a Discord ripoff. Losers, whatever. And it's like, really? Okay, 11-year-old little Timmy. Yeah. Other words I'm not going to say. But again, just give this a chance because it has the capability to do so much more than what you could do on Discord for a lot less money, basically for free. So if you're okay with giving $10 a month to Discord, by all means, that's your prerogative. Just do that. But don't complain that you have to pay $10 a month to have animated emotes in your server or have access to all of the different servers. That's on you. Don't complain because you have an alternative that does not charge for that one particular item. Now, is it the best? Discord and Gilded? No, they're not the best. Again, that's the information that is placed within your Gilded is kind of a walled garden. It's a silo. There are aspects where you can set up in your announcements as a blog post, which in turn gets the information out from your Gilded to the outside world. It's a better implementation. I give that to Gilded because of that particular feature. So you don't your knowledge that you put into your server here on Gilded is, let's say, 96% behind a walled garden, but you can get the information out easily via a Gilded blog post. It's one aspect. Yes, it's not perfect and it's not the best, but it is something. It's more than what Discord has. Discord is an all or nothing. That's it. No, you have to be part of the server to see what we have to offer. And if you don't like it, too bad. Get out. Here on Gilded, it's like if you want to do a blog post or like announcement post that you want to share to the outside world, it gives you a URL link that you can share on Mastodon, Blue Sky, or Threads, or wherever. And you can use that information to pretty much try to get people to come into your server that are you would think would be interested in what your particular community server offers. For like this one in the basement, yes, I haven't really done much with it. I wish I had more capability with it, but it does offer something that is capable for people that are interested in indie gaming and gaming in general. So there's that. So I can post up a video, not a video, but a blog post with a link out. But that part is I separated that to have its own website, so I don't really need to do that. But the capability is there if I wanted to. Now, there's one other thing. Now, both Discord and Gilded are great alternatives to each other. But the problem is that for the people who are more of a security focused, more open sourced, these two options really are not in the cards for them. It's something that it's because it's a closed source. You can't really take a Gilded source code and really make your own. But what you could do is look at Matrix. Matrix is very similar to a Discord or Gilded. It offers different things that you can. Yes, I know that's also a bad thing. There is really no dark mode. Sorry. I know I'm blinded too. It's like, but it offers a avenue or an alternative for the closed source. This is an open source project called the Matrix Protocol. I'm using what's called Element. Element just basically is like the wrapper that you can surround Matrix in to make it more easily usable to the general public. There is so many different wrappers that are available that you could use if you don't like the Element style or how it's laid out. That's the nice thing, is that you have options. If you don't like one particular thing, that's okay. There's plenty more. Or if you have the know-how, create your own. But the general gist of it is that Matrix is open source, it is more privacy focused. It offers almost the same amount as features, but it glares in missing a few things. Most notably, the forums, scheduling. There are bots. There are ways to bridge a Matrix server to Discord. There's also bridges to Rocket Chat and a couple other things here. But it's missing a lot of other different things. Like you still have emojis. If that's what's important to you, it has emojis and it has stickers. It has a couple things. It has what they call the groups or as spaces, as you saw in Gilded with the different groups within your server. They have spaces here that you can set up to kind of make it your own, like set up your Starfield only section or Fallout 76 section. Now, is it the best? Sure, for open source and a privacy focused person, yeah, no problem. Matrix is pretty nifty, but it has the same capability or the same issues where the information locked into your Matrix server is not really searchable to the outside world. That's the major problem that I'm trying to you know focus on here. Not really focus on, but bring to attention is that if you want to bring attention to the knowledge within your community, you have to look for ways to get it out of their server into other locations. And that's something, one other aspect that you have to work on. But Matrix fills a need of a void of people that are more privacy focused because you can have encrypted rooms that if I go into a room that's encrypted, nothing's going to show up for me. I was to say encrypted. Do you have a key for it? If you don't, yeah, here's a blank wall to stare at for the rest of eternity. So until you get the encryption key, you're not going to have any access into that particular channel or one-to-one conversation with another person if you go through the encrypted route. And that, to me, is really, really cool. That you have this capability of encrypting the information within your server. Now, is it the best way? Sure. If you don't want to have the information that is locked within that community, share it outside. Yeah, that's pretty great. But it also, again, it depends on how you want to run your server, because it's something that you have to make the deciding factor on and how you go about things. If you want to lock everything down, go for it. If that's you don't want to share anything, hey, that's more power to you. That's okay. But you also have to realize is that it's more work because then you have to vet people coming in, or you have to invite certain people that you feel comfortable that you want within your community. And you have to also get into your head is that if you lock everything down, encrypt everything, then what's going to happen is that, well, not as your community is not going to grow as fast as it would on other platforms. So that's just something that you have to keep in the back of your mind. It's like, yes, I know that everything here is secured. That's great. But I understand this is more of a privacy focused server, and that's a-okay if it doesn't grow as fast as it could possibly be on a more open but closed source platform. So Matrix, if you want to check out Matrix, I'll have all the links in the video description when this episode releases, or also on this live stream as well. But I have the links for our for Zenforo, Envision Power Board, Discord, and Gilded. So if you're interested in any of these particular platforms, that it's really good to just look at your options that are out there. If you're looking for a platform to base your community off of, take a look at all of these guys. And what you can also do is explore them as well, because not one is going to be better than the other or have more services or availability of bots or whatever else that you might need. Look at what your community might need, or your potential community that you want to build. Look at your options available to you. So that's why I wanted to do this episode, is a look at the community focus of these platforms and setting them up so you can look at ways that are different than to normally just, oh, I'll make a Discord and I'll be done with it. Easy peasy. I don't have to think about it. So think about it as you try to start up your own community. But also what you want to think about is joining our community at anycreatorhub.com. We do have a free community that is available to you It's just by signing up with your email and a name. It doesn't have to be your name. It can be a fake name. I don't care. I can call you Joe Bob or Mary Sue. Just as long as you have an active email address, and if you want to join in creating comments on blog posts, or heck, we even have a Discord server. I showed you that. If you want to join our Discord server, I have the link there as well on the top. And if you do want to upgrade your account, I do have a benefit of $4.99 that you also get a exclusive Discord section, and you also help out the channel and independent creator. So with that, without further ado, I'm going to say thank you for coming by, and check this out on your favorite podcaster of choice that you want to listen as well. It's available on Spotify. It's a Pocket Cast, Apple Podcasts, or here on YouTube in the podcast section, or on this playlist. The show is available everywhere. So with that, I want to say thank you for coming by, and I'll check you out later. Have a good night, and later, taters.